Gooseworks recently posted Jax in a witch costume. Most people scrolled past it thinking cute Halloween art, but there's probably more going on here. October 31st is a Friday this year, and if you've been following Digital Circus's release patterns, that date should immediately stand out. Episodes 5, 6, and 7 were animated together in a batch. That's how Glitch handles production. They don't animate one episode at a time, they do multiple simultaneously. The heavy animation work is done, which means episode 7 is somewhere in post-production right now. Audio mixing, color correction, that kind of stuff. Gooseworks mentioned before that having Glitch fully focused on Digital Circus would speed things up compared to their older schedule. Episode 6 came out roughly 2 months after episode 5. Count forward from episode 6's release, and late October fits pretty cleanly. So yeah, October 31st isn't just random. It matches their production pipeline and their release cadence. We already got a spooky episode. Episode 3 had the haunted mansion, Kinger's backstory with his wife, possessed heads, the whole deal. Doing another horror adventure would be weird and redundant. Plus, Michael Kovac and Gooseworks have been dropping these ominous hints for weeks. Kovac told someone about the plot and their reaction was basically, "I hate this." And he seemed to think that was a fair response. That's not what happens when you watch a fun Halloween special. They keep saying episode 7 will divide the fan base. That's a specific warning. They're not hyping it up, they're preparing people for something that won't land well with everyone. Think about what Halloween actually represents. Masks, hiding who you really are, pretending to be something else for a night. Every character in the circus is doing that constantly. Pomni tries to stay rational while she's obviously terrified. Regatha forces herself to be positive when there's not much reason for optimism. Gangle's masks literally show her emotional state. Kinger seems confused most of the time, but occasionally has these moments of total clarity. Zubal's checked out as a defense mechanism. Jax's mask is probably the most effective one. The sarcasm, the mean jokes, the whole nothing matters anyway attitude, it's all protective. Episode 6 showed cracks in that when he panicked and when he told Pomni he'd be fine watching everyone abstract. That's not indifference. That's someone who's given up on caring because caring hurts. If episode 7 is about those masks coming off, releasing it on Halloween actually makes thematic sense. Every episode follows the same basic structure. Caine makes an adventure, everyone participates, character development happens, they go back to the circus. It's worked 6 times in a row. But episode 7 went through multiple rewrites. Gooseworks said they needed to get it exactly right or it would be really bad. That kind of language usually means you're trying something different, not just writing another adventure episode with slightly different jokes. Also, episodes 7 and 8 were originally one long episode that got split, where you split a story matters. If the split happened at a timeline shift, like going from past to present, then episode 7 might work completely differently from what we're used to. Ashley Nichols pretty much confirmed Ribbit's going to appear. Problem is, Ribbit abstracted before Pomni even arrived. We know from the crossed out doors and background details that Ribbit's gone. So how do you show a character who's already abstracted? Flashbacks. That's the only option. If we're getting flashbacks to when Ribbit was still around, then we're seeing what the circus used to be like, how these characters used to interact. What changed. And if Jax is getting focus, understanding his history with Ribbit becomes really important. Regatha mentioned Jax used to have friends, past tense. Something happened that changed him from someone who could connect with people to someone who actively pushes everyone away. Jax said people become insufferable and not pleasant to be around before they abstract. Most people assume he meant they get depressed or hopeless. But what if it's more specific than that? What if some people get mean before they abstract? Manipulative or cruel, or they lash out at everyone trying to help them? If Ribbit hurt Jax in some real way before abstracting, that would explain a lot about how Jax acts now. Why would you let yourself care about people if caring just means getting hurt? This doesn't excuse how Jax treats Regatha or Gangle or Pomni. Understanding someone's trauma doesn't make it okay for them to traumatize other people. But people are complicated. You can be a victim of something and still do shitty things to others. Both can be true at the same time. If episode 7 explores that, showing why Jax is the way he is while not pretending it makes his behavior okay, yeah, that'll split the fan base. You're only making the joke take longer. No context, just 7 words. Could mean a dozen different things depending on who's saying it and when. Sounds like someone's avoiding something and being told it won't work. Maybe someone's trying to deflect with humor. Maybe the joke means the act they're putting on, the pretending everything's fine. Could be in a flashback, could be in the present, could be Jax, Saying it could be someone saying it to Jax. We won't know until we see it, but it definitely suggests someone's going to be forced to confront something they don't want to deal with. If you're going to release an episode that's going to upset people, Halloween's probably the smartest day to do it. On Halloween, people are already in the mindset for being disturbed. We watch horror movies, we go to haunted houses, we're actively looking for things that unsettle us. We've given ourselves permission to feel uncomfortable. Release the same episode on some random Tuesday, and people would probably react more negatively because they weren't mentally prepared for it. It's not about tricking the audience, it's about framing. If episode 7 reveals genuinely dark stuff about these characters, doing it on Halloween tells people, yes, this is supposed to be uncomfortable. That's the point. Real people are trapped in a digital prison with no way out, slowly losing their minds, turning into monsters, completely at the mercy of an AI that treats their suffering like a game. That's the premise. That's always been the premise. Pomni has panic attacks. Kaufmo's abstracted form was violent and terrifying. Gummy Goo found out he wasn't real and got deleted immediately. Kinger's wife abstracted and he might be next. But the show's been telling us what it is from the start, but the bright colors and funny moments let us focus on the lighter stuff instead of sitting with how horrifying this actually is. Episode 7 might not let us do that anymore. It might force us to look directly at the horror instead of just acknowledging it peripherally. And if characters we care about suffer in ways we can't laugh off, that's going to be hard for a lot of people. Some viewers came here for whimsical adventure with occasional dark moments. Some came here wanting the show to fully commit to its premise. Both groups have valid expectations. They just want different things. In the next week or two, we should get a trailer if October 31st really is the release date. That'll answer the basic questions, whether there's an adventure, whether we're getting flashbacks, what the overall tone is. But it won't answer the bigger question, is this going to work? Gooseworks is clearly trying something significant here. Multiple rewrites, warnings to the audience, nervous energy from the creators. That's not what happens with safe storytelling. Safe episodes don't require warnings. Safe episodes don't make creators anxious about fan reactions. Whatever's in episode 7 is pushing boundaries the show hasn't tested before. Whether it needed to push those boundaries, whether the execution justifies the risk, whether it earns the emotional weight it's going for, we can't know that yet. But if Halloween really is the release date and the thematic anchor, Gooseworks is committed. And that kind of commitment is at least interesting, even if we don't all end up liking where it goes. The creators already told us some people won't like it, that's fine. The question is whether we're willing to engage with something that might make us uncomfortable, something that might change how we see these characters. Halloween's about confronting things that scare us. Maybe episode 7 is just taking that seriously. Do you think episode 7 is dropping on Halloween? Are we getting a flashback episode focused on Jax and Ribbit, or is this going to be something completely different? And more importantly, are you ready for whatever Gooseworks has planned? Drop your theories in the comments. I want to hear whether you think this Halloween timing is intentional. And if you want to stay updated, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Episode 7 is going to be a big one either way, and you won't want to miss the breakdown. I'll see you in the next video.